there is a little more risk on this one, but there is some very nice upside, potentially a 70% increase on. All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. We're here to talk about all things investing. Just a little bit about myself. I have a background in accounting. I was a CPA. I've been working with numbers for 30 plus years, and I've also been trading as a retail investor for the last couple of decades. So my hope on this channel is to share some of my experiences with you, and together maybe we can make some money. I want to point out there is a link below to our Discord. We have a free membership to the Discord, and then there's some upgraded memberships, but you're welcome to join for free. We've got a couple hundred people in the Discord right now, so we're having a really good conversation. Today, I want to go through Bitcoin and a few of the Bitcoin miners. So I've been trying to do a daily update on Bitcoin because it really is at a major inflection point. So having said that, let's take a look. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin chart on the 1 hour time frame over the last 3 days. You can see this giant green candle right here was Monday night at about 10 o'clock. So Bitcoin had a real breakout Monday evening. You can see by midnight, we were up to about 48,600. Now I'm gonna add a line to our chart. Let's zoom out for just a minute. So you can see two purple lines. These two purple lines go back to last Monday. So that's about a week and a half ago. We have been stuck in this very tight range for the last week and a half. We did test support on this at about 45,700. You'll see these yellow circles right here once, twice, 3 times. This last time we retested support was Monday morning at about 9 o'clock. And you can see that this held for the 4th time. And from there, we really went up in a straight line big time. So that was a nice rally. It was also a breakout of sorts. I'm just going to show you another chart that at this point is no longer relevant, but I want to take a look at it just to show everybody that we did have our first significant breakout really since the flash crash on December 3rd. You can see we were headed in this downward channel for a couple of weeks. This is that line of support where we had our yellow circles. This held even within this descending channel. And then you'll see that Monday night we broke out of this. We have never looked back. We are comfortably outside of this descending channel. So that was our very first indicator. This was a strong breakout. And so that was the first piece of the puzzle. I'm looking for several pieces before I'm comfortable calling a bottom. As you guys know, Bitcoin has been extremely stubborn over the last month. This was a very frustrating month. There were high hopes for November and December. That did not manifest. We went in the other direction, and we've done a lot of sideways activity here. So this is our first little glimpse at a potential breakout to the upside that's signaling we may be ready to break out of this and head upwards. So this was 3 o'clock in the morning right here, and Bitcoin hit a high of 49,555. So it did get just above this line. And then this was 10 o'clock last night, and it hit a high of 49,595. So it was pushing 45,600 a couple of times in the last 24 hours. And then you'll see we had a little bit of a pullback, but well within a range. And now we're 3 hours into green candles here. We're over 49,000. We're at 49,043. There seems to be some pretty serious resistance right here between 49,000 and 49,500. So the next possible confirmation that we can have that we are headed to the upside is we need to break out of this $49,500 purple line right here. So I'm pretty encouraged by the price action. I'm going to add a line to this chart right now. Okay, you'll see I've added a green line right here. That's at about 48,300. And that line has been support. We had our run up on Monday night, and since we had that breakout, this line right here has held as support for the last 3 days. So you'll see we have tested it a few times. We got close to it just a few hours ago. It has held as strong support over this short period of time. So our trading range keeps getting more and more narrow, which actually is a good thing if we can stay inside of this range. This increases our probability of breaking out to the upside. So you can see it's been pretty sideways activity, but we did go up and test the top. We tested the bottom. We retested the bottom, up to the top, up to the top. So you can see that we've had a pretty steady journey up and down along this road. So what we're hoping for is if we can just break out to the upside here, that would be a second very strong confirmation. I will tell you that a lot of the indicators that I'm looking at seem to be saying that that is going to happen. Having said that, on the other side, there seems to definitely be a pretty big sell wall between $49,000 and $50,000. So that is something we're going to have to break through. I want to just take a moment and look at the big board of miners, and we'll take a look at how they're doing today, because we've had a pretty nice reversal. At the open, almost all the miners that I follow were red. They were not severely red, 1%, 2%, 3%, but let's put the big board up, and I'm just going to highlight a few of these. You can see we are now almost completely green. There's a few standouts here today. Bitfarms is up 5.9%. Argo Blockchain is up 4.6%, and DigiHost is up 6.3%. Now, DigiHost was up 21% yesterday, so this is a giant two-day rally for DigiHost. Other than that, you can see the only thing that's even in the red is just down 1%. Bit Digital is at 0. Everything else seems to be somewhere around up between 1 and 2% at this point. So this day hasn't decided what it wants to do yet. We are now 2 hours into the trading day. This board went from all red to all green. So I think everything is still on the table here today, depending on Bitcoin's price action. The other thing that's helping us, if we take a quick look at the indexes, all 4 major indexes are green today. Now, they're just a little bit up, but this helps because on these big red days, even if Bitcoin is hanging in there, it's a drag on the miners. So we're a little bit green across the board today, and that is helping as well. So having said that, let's take a look at a couple of the miners in specific. Okay, the first one I want to look at is Marathon Digital Holdings, stock ticker MARA. This is actually right now the largest market cap out of all of the Bitcoin miners. However, its market cap has basically been cut in more than half in the last month. So this has had some massive downward pressure, even beyond all of the rest of the Bitcoin miners. Having said that, it did have a gigantic run up right before that was in excess of all the other miners. So some of that was just self-correcting. So if we look at Marathon, it's trading at $34.88 right now. Its market cap is $3.57 billion. Marathon's market cap just about a month or a month and a half ago was $7.5 billion. That was its all-time high, and like I said, it just had a huge run up. We'll take a look at that when we go back to the chart. But 3.5 is pushing Marathon's low from a market cap standpoint really over the last 6 or 8 months. So if we zoom in, I've got a blue line right here. This was on December 20th. So this was just a few days ago. Marathon seemed to bottom out on that day, and it was down at about $31.50. The last time Marathon was in that price range was on September 29th, which, as you guys know, is our significant day. That was basically the end of the bear run that we had in Bitcoin in September, which, as you guys all remember, I say every day, that was a brutal time. September was ugly. September 29th was the end of that bear run, and pretty much all of the Bitcoin miners hit their recent lows at that point. So you'll see that Marathon in this run actually didn't even quite get down to that point, but it got very close. So it bottomed out at about $31.50. It's now trading just under $35. So in the past few days, you'll see that Marathon has had a little bit of a rally, but actually this is an encouraging sign. I have been waiting for Marathon to bottom out and start to show some signs of life. So I think that that's happening right now. It's participating with the rest of the miners in this rally over the last few days, but it is still one of the most beaten down miners in the sector. So I just want to look at a few price points from where it is right now. December 3rd, pre the flash crash. At that time, Bitcoin was trading at around $57,000. So this was less than 3 weeks ago. If Marathon were able to get back to its pre-flash crash price, that would be a 42% increase in Marathon's stock price. And I expect there's a reasonable chance that these miners are going to hit some of these price targets in the next 2 to 4 weeks if Bitcoin can just continue this rally and break through a few more lines of resistance. We've got an upside of about 42% just to get back to where we were before the flash crash. The next number I want to look at is December 1st. So this was just exactly 3 weeks ago. So if Marathon can get healthy and just get back to where it was 3 weeks ago, that is an 82% upside. And I want to put that in perspective because that seems like a large goal, but I want to take a look at where Marathon's been over the last few months, and you'll see this would just be to get back to around $58, which seems to have become a line of resistance since mid-November. For me, it looks like from a risk-reward standpoint, Marathon bottomed out a few days ago. We're about 10% above that, so maybe 10 to 15% downside, but somewhere between 40 to 80% potential upside. So you guys have to decide what you want to do with this. This is not financial advice, but to me, this looks like a very good risk-reward trade. Next one I want to look at is a company called Greenidge Generation Holdings, stock ticker GREE, GREE. GREE has behaved very differently than most of the rest of the Bitcoin miners. That was the flash crash, and GREE basically bottomed out at that point. It did go a little bit lower on December 6th, so it got down under $13. Unlike the rest of the miners, which are still struggling to get back to their pre-crash price, GREE has actually recovered, and it is well above its pre-crash price from December 3rd. So you can see that from November 9th, which was Bitcoin's all-time high at 69,000, GREE suffered greatly. This was a gigantic line straight down. This was a 57% decrease in the price of GREE in just about 1 month. Greenidge seems to be the first one that bottomed out and started to get healthy. So this chart has been looking good now for a couple of weeks. So I'm starting to get comfortable with the price action on this, and it looks to me like it's heading in the right direction. So if it was then to get back to its recent high on November 8th, which was one day before Bitcoin's all-time high, that would be a potential 72% increase in the price of GREE. Now, the one thing that I will say about GREE is it hasn't been trading for very long, so there's less data than there is on a lot of these other Bitcoin miners. However, I am starting to like what I see. I see more upside than downside, but just to put a number on it, if it did retest its lows, we are looking at a potential 26% downside. So from a risk-reward standpoint, there is a little more risk on this one than the other ones, but there is some very nice upside, all the way up to potentially a 70% price increase on GREE. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Thanks so much for watching. Again, there's a link below to the Discord. Please do us a favor and smash the like button if you liked this video. And if you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.